So this is Thailand's DTV, the Destination Thailand Visa, and this allows us to travel in and out of the country for 5 whole years and also work remotely while we're here.
Yeah, and this was honestly a little bit tougher to get than we expected in the first place. It took us about 6 weeks to get. There were lots of back and forths. We made a fair few mistakes. We applied in the wrong country, and there's so many ways we could have done it easier. Now that we're here, we've talked to people, we understand the system, we've got our visas, and we're going to talk you through how you can do it in a smooth way without any hiccups.
So in this video, we're going to go over where you should apply, the one rule that rejects half of the applicants, and the exact document trick that got us over the line in the end. So definitely stay for the last one because nobody's telling you this. So where should you apply from? Now, we decided that we wanted to move to Koh Samui on the 1st of August and wanted to give ourselves a decent amount of time before that to try and get everything sorted. Because we travel all the time and we're constantly on the go, we found a chunk of time when we were in Europe, in Portugal especially, where we thought that we could apply and give us enough time to
get the visa.
So we decided to apply in Portugal because we had 2 weeks there, which is very rare for us because we're on the go all the time. But yeah, it didn't turn out the best.
No, and what we realized later, and we had been told this earlier, was that there's some countries you can apply in and it can be easy, and some countries where you apply and it can be tough. Now, the 2 countries that I'm going to tell you about are the easiest ones to get your application through. You have Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam, and the city does matter. And you also have Vientiane in Laos. And if we had have applied through these countries, we may have had a much smoother transition, because what you find is the processing time in different countries matters. And so the responsiveness in Portugal was very slow when we had to fix something, and we'll go into what we needed to fix later because this is going to help you a bunch. But when we had to fix something, then it would be another 3 or 4 days before we had emailed them again and got a response back.
And they do expect you to stay in the one country, even though they kind of don't say that on the application. They did ask us for proof like a week and a bit later that we were still in Portugal, and we were not. We were in Morocco, which really threw us out.
Yeah, and these rules change from country to country. So what one country wants you to do might not be applicable for another country. But one thing to note, and Abby did explain it just then, is you do need to apply while you're outside of Thailand. You cannot apply while you're inside of Thailand.
Yeah, and our biggest advice there would be stay in one spot because it's going to make it a hell of a lot easier.
So a couple of things when you do apply, it has got a little bit more strict with the application. And so some places make you prove that you are living in the country. So what that means is you need a utility bill in your name, a bank account statement in your name, or something like that. And if you are traveling a digital nomad, that can be hard if you're not in your own country. So that's why you would go to places like Ho Chi Minh and Laos. They don't actually mind if you just show your flight and your accommodation details, and then you can apply in those countries. And that is of today. So I'll put the date up for today so you know when this video was filmed, and then you can do your research based on where you are and what time it is or what date of the year it is.
So the number one reason that most people get rejected, and I think around 30 to 50% of applicants do get rejected because of this reason, is because they do not have enough cash in their bank. You do need to prove that you have 500,000 baht, which is equal to about 16,000 USD in your bank account, but consistently for the last 3 months.
Yeah, so you can't just put a lump sum of money into a bank account and then hope that it gets approved. You need to show that you're earning income or that money is coming in consistently, so they know that you are not going to come to Thailand with no money, basically.
And try and find work.
Find work, exactly. And there's some nuances around this. So some countries will want 3 to 6 months of banking history. And then some countries, or most countries, don't accept crypto. So you'll need either Thai baht or a foreign currency equivalent in those bank accounts. And then there is one other way to do this. If you do not have the money in your bank account, you can get a sponsor. So your spouse, your wife or husband, or your parents can be your sponsor and show that they have the money in the bank account. And then that can give you in to tick that box off.
So there are 3 different routes that you can kind of go down or apply to get your DTV, and I'm going to talk about the most popular one and that we got, and that is the workation. So if you do work online, you work remotely, you can apply for the workation DTV, and basically you have to prove, give certain pay slips. What else do we have to? Certain contracts, client contracts, and you have to prove that you have your own business or organisation that is bringing in income.
Yeah, on that. So you can be employed by someone, a foreign company, and then you prove it by showing your pay slips from that company and your employment contract. If you are self-employed, then you need to show your company name, and then you need to show either pay slips from that company, or you need to show how you're connected to that company. So if you're a director, you need the correct forms to show that you're a director of that company.
The second way is called a Thai soft power, and there are certain avenues that you can go down this one too. You can do Muay Thai, you can do cooking classes, and I think seminars as well. So you just need to prove and sign up for those certain classes, prove that you've done that, and then you can also get the DTV. I think that was similar to the 1-year education visa that has been previous, but now you can actually do those things as well for 5 whole years.
Yeah, and I think to begin with, you only need to prove that you've signed up for 6 months or more, and then you make sure that that company is registered, and they will write you a letter, and then that proves that you can, come in, which is pretty awesome. Come do Muay Thai and just become sick at it.
Awesome, get fit abs.
Yeah.
And then the third way that you can get it is by becoming a dependent. So kids under 20 can get them if your parent obviously has them, and then also if you are married. So if Tice was to get one before me, I would then be eligible to apply because we are married.
Yeah. All right, now we're going to let you in on one of the biggest hacks. And I think this applies to any application in general, but Abby and I really stuffed ourselves around, didn't we?
We didn't do this the first time, and then we did it the second time, and we honestly think it changed everything. And then we were speaking to people who had also applied and received, and they said too that they did this, and it helped so much.
So when you do the application, and I'll put up some videos and some screenshots of what it looks like, you'll get a bunch of questions. And under those questions, you'll have to apply or upload documents supporting your answer, okay? Now, what we did was just upload the documents that they say to upload, and this is the wrong thing to do. What you need to do is you need to create a cover letter for each upload. So you, for example, will have 4 documents, and I'm just going to read it because it will give you a better insight. But for example, the first question will be, who are you? And that'll be your passport and photo. So what you're going to do is put your passport and photo onto a PDF, and then attach another PDF to the top, and this is going to be a cover letter. And this cover letter is going to talk about what is inside that PDF and tell people the passport's inside and the photo's inside. Then on question 2, where are you right now? So proof of location. You might have flights, you might have accommodation details, you might have your Airbnb stuff. Put all of it into a PDF, and then again, a cover letter on top explaining what is in that PDF and how it specifically answers that question. And then question 3, can you support yourself? We're giving you the full detail here, okay? So this is, if you do this, the likelihood of you getting through is much higher than us. What they need to see is a bank statement and see the income coming in. But you can't just send a bank statement. You need to highlight every row that you get the income coming in. And then, what do we do?
Put your cover letter.
Put your cover letter. Exactly, explaining what is happening.
It just really helps because there's no place on the application form to write anything. It's just question, upload. So to be able to explain more, I mean, I think it's silly. They should have a place where you can write and explain, but they don't. So the cover letter just changes everything. Yeah,
and also we might as well just go through the last question. How do you earn it? And will you work in Thailand? So when you talk about your business, we did, because we're self-employed and we have our own business, we had to show our business certificate, so our business registration, then who the directors were, and then some things about Abby and I. So what our businesses were, we showed our websites and our Instagram profiles, and that was sufficient.
So once you have applied, there could be some back and forth between you and the consulate that you applied at, and they might ask you for some more questions and then proof and supporting documents for those questions. So we had back and forth 3 or 4 times, I think, because the first time we didn't have the cover letters, the second time we did, then they asked for proof that we were still in Portugal but we were in Morocco. Then we had to get something cited by a notarized, notary,
and that is actually a good point, because I did do some research, and if you can get some things notarized, then you're much more likely to get them through. So your bank statements and your passport and photo, if you get them notarized, then they'll pretty much 100% get approved. But yeah, you're right. So there will be some back and forth, and something also to note, in Ho Chi Minh and Laos, it is said they still do some in-person interviews. So sometimes they'll want you to come in and hand deliver the documents. And to be honest, I think it's worth it, because they say they get approved in like 2 to 5 days, which is much faster than ours.
Yeah, so ours ended up taking 6 weeks, and we got it about 2 weeks before we were planning to come here. We actually we were almost at the point where we thought we'd have to withdraw from Portugal. So if it's not going your way, you can officially withdraw and then apply from somewhere else, but you have to pay again. So we would have had to do that, but then the day before, actually we did send an email asking to withdraw, and then the day later they obviously didn't acknowledge it. The day later we got the official visas, which we were so lucky. So we flew to Ho Chi Minh in an emergency, and we were going to apply from there, but then we ended up not even needing to, because they were applied as soon as we got there.
Had fun in Ho Chi Minh.
It was great though.
Ho Chi Minh's an awesome city. It would be a great place to sit and apply.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so much to do.
Yeah, I agree. So once you apply and once you get approved, how long can you stay here? So the DTV is 5 years, but there are a few caveats. So every 180 days, you do need to technically do a visa run. So they want you to leave the country, essentially so they know that you're not staying here, I think, past the 5 years. So every 180 days, you do need to travel somewhere else and then come back into the country, and your 180 days kind of kickstarts again. Now, apparently you can, the first year, I think you can pay for an extension for another 180, which gives you a full year, but our friends did try to do this and it didn't go so smoothly, so they ended up having to do the visa run anyway.
And they said it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So I think you're better off just flying somewhere else. And most people who are doing this
are going to travel anyway. Exactly.
Yeah. The final thing I'll say is, if you do get the Thai visa, then you have this other requirement. So every 90 days, you have to go and check in. If you're staying here for 90 days, then you go check in with the Thai government, and then you'll be good for the extra 90 days before you have to leave again. And then the main thing is, make sure you utilize the correct website. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to show you what it looks like, so you use the correct one. There's lots of different ones out there, but the fee is 10,000 baht. I think for Europe, actually, it was a bit different though. It was a bit more expensive in Europe.
To apply? I think we paid 300 and something Europe. Yeah.
So there you go. You could get cheaper. It could get cheaper if you probably go to Asia. Ours was a bit more expensive in Europe. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome, guys. That is a wrap for the DTV. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please drop them below. We're so happy to help on your DTV journey. Also, come and find us on Instagram here, because we are a lot more active day to day, and we do Monday question boxes where you can ask any question and we will answer. And we'll see you in the next video.
Yeah. See ya. Bye. Cheers.